finances, resources, and restrictions. It is easy to attribute the lukewarmness and the idleness of our communities to obstacles such as these. However, when we as leaders lose the fire of our encounter with Christ and lose the joy of following Him, the biggest obstacle can actually be us. As key contributors to the vitality of our communities, we lead by our example. So when we lose our passion, our enthusiasm, and our hope, it affects our communities. But when we serve with zeal, we can set our communities on fire. Zeal is often misunderstood because it is commonly associated with fanaticism. But zeal is so much more than that. Zeal is a virtue that arises from the intensity of love. As Saint Vincent de Paul says, if the love of God is a fire, zeal is its flame. If love is a sun, zeal is its ray. In other words, zeal is love put into action. It is a concrete expression of the commandment to love that urges us towards God and towards His people. If we are called to love, then zeal is our action. Zeal is characteristic of every saint that has come before us. With every beat of their zealous hearts, they were propelled to bring the love of God to His people. Zeal is a trait of a holy identity. It is a concrete expression of the commandment to love that urges us towards God and our neighbor. Since it is the love of Christ that urges every missionary disciple onward, as leaders, we should strive to have zealous hearts. Let's take a look at the example of our Blessed Mother. In the joyful mystery of her visitation, a pregnant Mary visits her elderly cousin Elizabeth, who is also pregnant. The trip is roughly 150 kilometers and up over 1,300 feet in elevation through a mountainous region that was believed to be popular with bandits. Yet despite discomfort, despite risk, our Blessed Mother, bearing the incarnate love of God, was urged by love to visit Elizabeth, to share with her the gospel, and to assist her in her final trimester. Her zeal was expressed in her concrete action to be physically present with her cousin. She did not wait for an ideal time that is more favorable for her. She went with haste, because she was on fire after her divine encounter. And the call to love and the call to share the gospel was too urgent to be idle. It is a simple yet charitable gesture that reminds us that having a zealous heart is not about being overly active, obnoxious, and loud, but it is about bringing the love of God to others, no matter what the cost, big or small. If the main courses of action of youth ministry is to 1, attract new young people to an experience of the Lord, and 2, to help those who have already had that experience to mature in it, for a leader, a healthy relationship with Christ is non-negotiable. After all, our mission begins and is fulfilled through this relationship. If Jesus were to ask you the same question He asked Peter, do you love me? What is your answer? What is your true answer? Is it yes, no, maybe, I don't know? How you respond to this simple question will reveal to you the state of your relationship. Christ is the source of our zeal. So if we find ourselves at the beginning of this new pastoral year lacking inner vitality, lacking dreams, enthusiasm, and generosity, we must return to Him. As leaders, our personal spiritual lives should always be a priority. Not only should we have good habits of prayer, but we should also allow Christ into the messiness caused by the often subtle grip of sin. Experiencing spiritual difficulty and even dryness is okay. It's perfectly normal. But it is not okay to run away from God and our fellow disciples in those times. When we allow ourselves to be openly loved by Christ, we allow ourselves to be renewed, and we allow ourselves to discover this zealous heart. As we continue to strive to build healthy and holy communities, we must also strive to be healthy and holy leaders with zealous hearts. Zeal calls us into action. Zeal is contagious. Zeal leaves a lasting impression. Your zealous heart will stir the hearts of the young people in the community that you serve. Though some may still have mixed feelings about hybrid or online or just life in general, we must press onward with this very much needed zeal that is constantly renewed by a healthy relationship with Christ. The alarm has been going off for over a year now, yet many of our communities still continue to press snooze. We cannot sleep while our young people thirst. They seek community. They desire communion. They fight for their neighbor. They care for our common home. They have surges of zeal, but do not know from whom it comes from. They might not know it yet, but they are already in the pursuit of Christ. And it is our responsibility as leaders to awaken their zealous hearts with ours. May the love of Christ urge us to go with haste with the guidance of the Holy Spirit into our communities to set their zealous hearts on fire. Long live Christ the King.